our crew are amazing women. They're scientists, journalists, artists, filmmakers, and creators.
eXXtrillion is a story about an epic adventure with an awesome crew of women who go and see one of the biggest catastrophes of our time, but come away from it full of hope.
An all-female crew is set to sail in the North Pacific
on a month-long research mission
assessing the devastating impact plastic is having on our oceans.
Destination Garbage Patch.
We travelled on a really unusual route across the North Pacific, straight through the middle of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is the densest accumulation of ocean plastic in the world. It's 3 times the size of France, and we sailed through it for days and days and saw what the real issue of plastic pollution is. None of us knew each other before we got on the boat, so we met for the first time at the harbour. We got on this boat, did the craziest thing that we've ever done in our whole entire lives. Filming it was quite hard work. We were at a 45-degree angle most of the time, so actually even just standing up straight was pretty exhausting. I was quite thin when I came off the boat, and I didn't sleep very much.
The problem is totally different than what I expected.
I've never seen so much rubbish in the middle of nowhere.
The thing that Eleanor and I had talked about from the beginning was that neither of us wanted to make a documentary that's depressing or one that's preachy and telling people how they should feel or think about something. So I think we both had really common aims in terms of how we wanted the end film to be.
My background is making films that link humans and the environment and trying to make people feel like they have some sort of place for changing things. And the eXXpedition was a really beautiful vehicle for telling that story of plastics, which everyone was sick of hearing about, feeling very depressed by, but telling it through a really exciting story and a story of connection and people and, you know, having characters and things like that. But it was very much working with Verity that made the film into what it is, rather than it being a 10-minute film that ended up on YouTube. I wouldn't have had the confidence to do that. And that's, I think, again, something really lovely about working together and using each other's skills. And
I'm glad you still feel like that, Eleanor, after so much time.
We're going to come up with every possible solution that we can think of.
It's changed me. I can't decorate plastic for everyone.
The other interesting one that I had at a Guildford screening was someone in the audience at the Q&A afterwards said that they work for a petrochemical company. And actually everyone in the company was desperate for legislation because, of course, you know, most companies have shareholders and they have to show profits. And so unless something's the law, it's difficult for them to justify making changes that are helpful to the environment. And that was really interesting for me, I think.
We need to have a system change. You know, there's only so much that we can do as individuals, but ultimately we need the infrastructure around us to change. And that is where you need everyone from all professions dipping in, whether it's teachers at school explaining things to children and like seeing how you can do things differently, to you know, a design teacher at a uni talking to their students about like, how are you going to design things differently? You know, as a human race, we've been so good at evolving and inventing things and doing things differently that it feels like we need to really channel that energy, that maybe that negative energy, into something more positive.
Here. And that, I believe, is where we need an army.
Thank you for watching Picture House Cinema's unique video content. Hit the subscribe button to be kept up to date with our movie news, cast and crew interviews, highlights, trailers, and lots more.